I was trying to, I didn't know what you looked like, and I was trying to visualize, you know, because the people behind the scenes, especially because when I was when they were making Team America, Trey was just doing the puppets were so nerve-wracking that he shaved his head because he was constantly pulling out his hair.
Really? Yeah.
And you see these things, and you don't, they're great, and you think, oh, it was fun, but then when you read what really goes on behind the scenes, it's just amazing.
Yes.
It's a 6-year labor of love here?
It was, yeah. I mean, we started writing about it like 5 years ago or something. Yeah, it was 5 years ago. When I had the idea of longer than that, in the middle of Chicken Run or before even. And that's why it's got to be funny, you know. It's got to be, because it's all that sustains you, you know, throughout the whole movie. That's what's really funny. Like, you think of a joke 5 years ago, and then seeing it in front of an audience for the first time.
But the thing that's most amazing to me as you go through all the facts and the figures is, and after a week's worth of work, you have 5 seconds worth of usable film. Is that correct?
Yeah. Each animator, we have 30 animators working, you know, filming on 30 sets at the same throughout the whole movie, and each one's getting about 2 or 3 seconds a day done.
That's insane. I can't imagine you have your entire crew there. Now, is this one of these cases where you don't have to yell quiet on the set then, and then click, okay, you can start working again, or is this? I mean, just setting up the shots, though. I mean, what if something goes wrong? I mean, what if it doesn't work?
Yeah.
That happens?
It does happen. Yeah, because it's a bit like, you know, this kind of animation is you know, the animators working frame by frame, you know, through the. You can't kind of go back and change a frame. You know, it has to either work or not. It's like a performance going out on stage. If it's not a good one, you do another one. And, you know, like in a movie, really.
But in this case, you just can't instantly, oh, that was bad. You find out. How long does it take before you find out something doesn't work?
Yeah. Well, we do kind of what we call block rehearsals. We do a block first of all, just because there's just to make sure the character's in focus and hitting its spots and everything. You know, in the right lighting and everything, and that's for the lighting and everything. And then then we cut that in and we get the timing right, and then we do a more kind of proper rehearsal, so the animator doesn't get exhausted putting too much effort in, and then we go for a real take.
How has things changed from your first short to this? I mean, I'm sure that technology has had to come into play somewhere where it helps you out a bit.
Yeah. I mean, all the character animation, you know, is using clay models like these. Yeah, these are the actual models from the movie.
Oh, you're kidding?
Yeah, that's the size we work with, and you know, we like it to have the clay look, you know, the handmade look. It's part of the charm of it all. We don't want to get too slick, but there are some things are just impossible to do with clay. You know, like some water effects and fog. There's a lot of fog put in digitally.
What about the BV6000? I mean, how did the floating rabbits work? Because I was
that was one instance where we had to use technology, you know, digital technology, and it was really because the rabbits, they were all floating around inside the Bunvac 6000, and we could have done them with clay, but they'd have all had to have supports, and we thought it's just easier to do this CGI because they're all floating and with such detail. But we built the rabbits first out of clay and got them scanned into a computer, and then the CG guys made them all rotate and animated them.
So how many different versions will you have of Wallace in a film? I mean,
yeah, because we're shooting like on so many sets at the same time. We have about 25 of him, and same with Gromit.
Yeah. All right, now here's the big question. Gromit is obviously much more intelligent than Wallace. Why doesn't Gromit talk? I mean, why doesn't that happen?
Yeah, I know. Well, he never has really. Ever since the first days, you know, when I invented the characters back at college, I found it. I was going to have him as with a Scooby-Doo kind of voice, you know, sort of growly voice, and with a big mouth. He was going to be very extrovert. But I found it was so difficult when I came to do it. It was partly out of laziness. I found it so much easier just to move his brow. And
he does have a lot more facial expressions than Wallace does. So that must have been tougher to animate.
I know. I mean, I suddenly realised he doesn't need to do anything. It suddenly made him very intelligent, and so it was a really good dynamic with a man and a dog. You know, to have the dog as the smart one, and you know, and he was much. With the clay animation, you can put such a lot of feeling into his face.
Well, keep up the good work. Thank you so much.
Thank you.